others celebrate the wins,
Yes.
we celebrate the mud.
each episode has a special guest.
Tony-nominated actress, Broadway's Lily Cooper.
Tashir Zameda.
David A. Gregory.
Getting messy with muddy topics.
We are going to be talking about grief journey.
With hilarious moments
Now get over here.
And deep conversations.
I'm ashamed to even admit this, but this is what happened.
This is Into the Mud.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Into the Mud podcast. While others celebrate the wins,
We celebrate the mud. I'm Alex Cumin.
I'm Drew King, and today we have a beautiful friend on the podcast, our favorite ginger, the beautiful Max Chernin.
Hello.
Thrilled to be here.
Hi, Max.
Hi.
How's it
Wow.
going?
It's going well. How are you both?
So good.
We're good.
Just so good.
Good.
It's a
So
little warm in
good.
here, but otherwise we're
It's
good.
toasty.
It's beautiful here.
It's a nice room,
It's
though.
so beautiful. We're in the Burnham Library
At the Mullen Flatiron.
Flatiron.
There's very few books, I will say.
Yeah,
Not a
lots
lot.
of shelves, not enough books.
Many
A memoir.
potted pots. Pots?
Fake plants,
Just pots. It's great.
Yeah, it feels like a shelf at Container Store,
Yes.
but it's in a beautiful way.
But gorgeous.
Yes.
Gorgeous container.
Okay, Max.
Yes.
I'm so excited to have you here on the pod. You are originally from Cleveland, Ohio / Shaker Heights.
Correct.
Ohio.
That's right.
But
That's
you
right.
trained in Cleveland, right? Like, didn't you go to high school in Cleveland?
I went to high school in Shaker.
In Shaker, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like all the people from Cleveland did like this kind of all-star baseball team thing for
Ooh.
musicals called Stagecrafters. And we all like
Stagecrafters.
came to the same high school and did the shows together and
love it.
became superstars. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Well, if you haven't guessed already, Max is a Broadway star.
Yikes.
Max, you are though. You're incredible.
Yeah.
Max just finished the national tour of Parade, the musical, where previously on Broadway he was understudying the role that Ben Platt was playing. And then Max got to go out and star in the show himself.
I sure did.
I remember this from New Year's last year because that might have been the last time I saw you.
Oh, that was the
Yeah.
last time you saw him?
Yeah, we
Oh my
all went out and
gosh.
you were talking about the scene where you go under.
Under the
the
stage.
stage.
Under the stage.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
Claustrophobia.
A little bit.
101.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
terrifying.
ended up making it really pretty for me. So the TLDR on that, there's a big dramatic moment at the end. I had to scoot myself from underneath the platform on what's called a car mechanics crawler. And the lighting team surprised me with a neon sign of a cowboy hat that said, "Let's go, girls." So after this big dramatic
you,
moment where
Shania.
I died, spoiler alert, I would jump down and the first thing I would see is, "Let's go,
Let's
girls."
go, girls.
That's the first thing I want to see when I die.
Those lighting
Amazing.
designers are fire for that.
That's
I love
amazing.
them.
What
Beautiful.
a move. What a move.
Well, okay, many a credit. Like we said, from Shaker Heights, Ohio, you went to Cincinnati Conservatory of Music.
Sure did.
You were in the original Broadway cast of Bright Star. You were in the revival cast of Sunday in the Park with George, the second one, and then the revival cast of Parade, which was it a
was.
revival?
It
Because
was.
wasn't it originally off Broadway or Broadway?
It was Broadway.
It was Broadway. Okay, great. You've done some film and TV. You did, was it Dickens or Dickinson?
Dickinson.
Dickinson,
Yeah.
The Blacklist, among other things. And we met doing Tootsie.
Tootsie.
That's right.
All the workshops.
We did the workshops of Tootsie together
my
from what, like 2017,
Yeah.
2016, 2017?
2016, I think.
Yes,
That makes
with
sense.
previous guest Robert Horn, who we had on the pod last week.
We love Robert.
Sweet Robert.
Sweet Robert.
Crazy Robert.
Wild man.
I know.
Love him.
He's the best. Okay, Max. So you just got back to the city how long ago? Like a month ago, 2 months?
A little over a month.
A little over
Yeah.
a month. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Yeah,
Yes.
it was a big transition coming back here for me. Not only did I tour for 9 months, but prior to that, I was in like a nomadic moment. And then prior to that, I was living in Denver. I made the leap to move to Denver with a now ex-partner of mine. So
Yeah.
this is my first kind of permanent chapter back in the city after almost 2 years away. Wow. Which is surprisingly the same.
The
Like
same.
as much as I may grow, I feel like, every time I come back to the city, it is pretty much just the same.
It's like everything's different, but nothing's different. It's all the same.
The restaurants on 9th Avenue will always change, but the people are always the same.
always the same.
And there is something very comforting in that, I will say. There's like, I'm almost 14 years here, so this is the closest I got to home at this point,
Wow. Well, that segues perfectly into our
Yeah.
topic for the
Yeah.
day, which is outgrowing New York City and I guess kind of redefining home.
Sure.
And as you just mentioned, you've lived in like a semi-nomadic state for the past 2 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as performers, and you know this as well, Alex, as a comedian, we're constantly traveling. We're having to pack our bags, go do a show in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and then go on tour. And then you're in a Broadway show, so you have a home, but then you're subletting, and then you lose your sublet. So it really is an up and down all over the place. And as we try to redefine what our careers are and grow with our careers, our surroundings don't always fit anymore.
It's true. Yeah.
So talk to us. You moved to New York City when you were 21.
22.
22.
22.
Wow.
22.
Yeah.
Now you're 23. How does it feel 1 year later?
Yeah, it feels great. Just really wonderful. Yeah, I moved here when I was 22 with all of my college classmates. And I did the whole like BFA thing where you have a showcase and you sign with an agent and you're fresh to the city and you don't really know where things are and you're running around. Yeah, and I worked at anthropology at Rockefeller Center.
You did?
Yep, for $10
That's a really
an
good
hour.
answer.
I worked at the Banana
Except for
Republic
the-
at Rockefeller Center.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I had very like humble beginnings here, I guess, and I lived in Upper Manhattan where everyone who
Yep.
was an actor was at, I call it Broadway University. And yeah, I had about 7 years in and out of Upper Manhattan before I moved to Brooklyn.
I know you're such a Brooklyn girly now.
Brooklyn
you're
girl
full-blown Brooklyn girl.
I am.
I remember when you moved out of that apartment. I think I helped you move out.
You did. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Yeah.
When he left Harlem, it was so
Yeah.
sad.
I said goodbye to my Harlem friends, and I said
I know
hello
you
to
bailed
my
on
Brooklyn
Colin
friends.
and I.
I know. I felt like we just became really close friends.
I know.
And I lived down the block from
Down the
you
block.
all, and then I left.
Then you left.
It's all
But-
good. It's okay. But now we get to make adventures and treks to Brooklyn, and it's really fun.
And you're
It
going to
is.
move there.
Well, now I have a Brooklyn boyfriend. So
I
Yeah.
love it.
I know.
love it.
Welcome to the stage, Carol Gardens.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so talk to us. I want to know where you are currently feeling about your opinion of New York City. What do you feel about New York City right now as your home, as your space of occupation, and just as a human being? What do you think about New York City right now?
Yeah, my general feelings, I guess naming it as of late have been feeling like I've maybe outgrown this current like chapter of being in New York, which is being unemployed and single. And I had some things, like a couple things checked off my life list at one point in time here in the city. And that included having a dog.
Yeah.
And so I'm back here. I'm single. I'm unemployed. I don't have a dog. You know, I'm dating and I have gigs here and there. But I'm just kind of bored of it. I've done this.
Yeah.
I've been here before. I've stepped out of it to date someone and have a dog. I've stepped out of it to travel and be more career focused. But now I'm back here and I'm like, what's next? Like, I'm just feeling like there's got to be more to this. And what I'm loving is spending time with my community, seeing shows, like having access to culture again, and, you know, getting all the food I ever want and having like a busy social lifestyle. But I had a version of New York that like was kind of near perfect in my mind. And that was like, I'm realizing now the things that I loved about that were the super like heteronormative domestic stuff. Like the best thing about having a partner here in the city is being like, we're staying in and we're cooking something tonight and we're going to binge something together. And like, I could do that on my own easily. I could make a recipe and sit and binge something by myself, but like been there, done that.
Exactly.
And if I'm going to do it anywhere, I'm starting to feel like, I guess if that's what I'm doing here, like, why am I not doing it somewhere else?
Where the rent is a little bit more affordable and there's trees.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And or where like I'm forced to make new community, you know, because it can go both ways. When I was thinking about where I was going to go after tour, I was like, am I going to move back to New York or am I going to like say fuck it and go to like Kingston? And I didn't, because a part of me was like, if I go to Kingston, I'm going to end up in a polycule with a bunch of farmers and then like text you and be like, hey, babe, I started an Etsy store and now I have
How do
a
you
brick
feel
and
about
mortar.
Christmas ornaments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about metallic, acrylic Christmas ornaments? And listen, nothing wrong with that. And maybe I'd be super happy. But a part of me was also like, go back to New York. Give it
You can always bounce back out.
See what New York has to offer for you.
It is a wild thing because I don't have as much time under my belt as you guys do, but I moved here later. I moved here when I was 35, and so I think I definitely missed out on the like 20s in New York, which I think is its own
35 roommates. You moved into New York City in your own gorgeous,
I
two-floor
had
apartment
like
on the
a
Upper West Side.
crazy introduction to this city, and didn't have the like working for $10 an hour with 12 roommate like
Yeah.
And I think also a lot of people do that and then move. But I have noticed even how quickly, because the pendulum swings so far in either direction. I have had truly the best nights of my life and the best days of my life here in this, where just everything unfolds and you meet people and you go to like it's just like the city is just like, here, take another perfect experience one after another. And then just also the worst days where you're just like, you feel lonely. It's crazy feeling lonely in a city this busy. Just as we are approaching the next like decade of life, I totally get that question of like, is this like, I knew when I got here, when I like my first couple years here, I was like, I'm never leaving. And now I'm like, I don't want to leave anytime soon, but like I could see how this could run its course if things don't change job-wise or income-wise, or if my friends here start to move and all that stuff. Like those moments come where you're just like, oh my God. And you like start to feel behind, or you look at your friends who are living outside the city in these suburban lives that have houses and yards and all
dogs.
this and dogs and all this stuff, and you're like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I think you and I had similar experiences because Max and I both took extensive like Western road trips where we got to like not together, but like separately. I went with my brother, he went with his boyfriend at the time, and just got to like deeply enjoy nature and like reinvest in what nature is, which is something that we miss in New York City and we don't get a lot of. Sure, I love Central Park. I love all the new like green spaces that they're introducing to.
It's different.
Like, the highways,
It's
but
very
it's
different.
not the same.
Yeah.
It is not
So
the same. And that was 2020 was a pivotal moment for me where I was like, wait, this is majestic and beautiful out here in all of these national parks. Why am I in New York City?
Yeah.
Did you have that same feeling?
I did. I think it's like your blood pressure drops a little bit. You stop hearing noises all the time. And it's like these little adjustments that you don't even really think about. But, everywhere you are, you step outside, you see the stars. There's just these things that everyone that's living there is like, yeah, what? Like
Stars.
You don't see the stars every night, or there isn't construction every day of your life.
Exactly.
You have to weigh out the gifts of each places, but there's nothing like a trail or a hike that isn't, I can tell myself that Prospect Park is like what I have, but like, no, it's not. It's really not the same as the Tetons. It's not the same as Joshua Tree. And it's a pressure cooker here. So you're like, I'm here. I have to be here. There's that scarcity mindset here that's kind of deeply entrenched in our community, in our industry. And I think almost for everyone, if you're not here, you're missing out on the next party, the next event. You're missing out on a job opportunity. And like, once you actually step away, it's so freeing. I found it to be very freeing because I looked around at where I was and I thought, no, I want to be here. I want to be enjoying this. And it was so helpful for me in that especially in that time that I spent away in Denver thinking about job opportunities, because I really could like sit there in the 4-story townhouse that we were subletting on the floor, on my sitting floor, where I could sit and think about things, could sit there and think, that job isn't for me, because I'm changing. I'm feeling a certain way out here. And also that's someone else's dream job. Some kid in their 20s in New York is dying to have that job that I'm feeling iffy about. And they're going to get that job, and that job's going to change their life and change the course of their like professional career. And so it took me, I feel like being able to be in that place, I was only able to achieve that by stepping out of the city and looking at the stars and just like breathing and taking a beat away from all of the noise here, really.
Well, yeah, coming back to yourself and getting in tune with like literally just giving your nervous system a break for a few minutes to see like, this is where my body like naturally wants to turn to, or like, this is how I feel when I'm relaxed, or these are the things I think about when my body's not just in constant stress. I feel like this is a time, particularly in a lot of people's lives, regardless of industry, where you're like, you've been working towards something for a long time and maybe you've gotten to a certain point in it and then you're like, is this what I want? Like, is this? And having to reevaluate and having to be like, change of career, change of location, change of like relationship status, all this stuff kind of starts to come up because you got the stuff, right? Like when you get the stuff, like I think where I'm at now with career stuff, I'm like, yeah, I got to the place I wanted to be and it looks a little different than I thought it would. And there's this thing of like, am I giving up on myself if I like change my path a little bit? Am I giving up on the things I always wanted? Or would it be giving up on myself if I stayed the course, knowing that like this actually, I'm not as excited about this as I used to be, and trying to like fine tune. Like,
we had a question about that on the sheet, which really was interesting to me. Was, let's say that you picked up and you moved to Montana and you just wanted to purely be in nature. Do you consider that to be giving up or growth, or a hybrid of both?
Growth.
Okay.
100%.
I love that.
yeah.
100%, because I think we're taking our destiny into our own hands. Like, that's growing. We're making a choice. I think giving up that's such an inactive word, I think, or wait, it says inactive word. Growing up is like another, I don't know. It would never help you grow.
Yeah.
If giving up, I mean, I think in terms of like the framing of like the musical theater, like industry, like people think of that as giving up, but I don't know. I wonder now in like a post 2020 world, in like a 2025 world on fire, if moving away and pursuing happiness is only growth, I think. And I mean, the time that I've spent away, like you can move anywhere and come back and get your New York City fill anytime you want.
Anytime. Yeah.
You come back, you spend a week here, anyone that you want to see, you actually see in that week.
Yeah.
Like I've been home a month and there are people I haven't seen yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I think like having another chapter has to be growth. Like we have to see that as growth, or no one will grow.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's complicated because musical theater has a little bit brainwashed us into thinking that, when you leave the city, you're giving up. I do have friends who feel that way.
Yeah.
And friends who, packed up and left because, partner got a job in a different city.
Totally.
And they left prematurely at a time when they didn't feel ready to leave because they did not accomplish the XYZ dream.
Right.
We are fortunate.
I was about to say, maybe we're speaking from a place of
massive privilege, perhaps. Yes.
Because I did everything I wanted to do here.
Which is huge.
Which is so huge. And such a relief in a way. And you're right, that I can sit here and say, yeah, moving to Montana is growth. But I do think, there's another world. I don't know that I would be sitting here having this conversation with you had I not come to New York and done the things I set out to do. I probably would have already left, I think.
I mean, I can definitely see that. Yeah.
I think everyone, no matter your industry you're in, everybody loves to take a week off and sleep under the stars and or whatever their sleep under the stars moment is, right? Like, yeah, I would love to do that. But then it's like, okay, would I love to do that on an extended basis? Like, or is the pull to that because it's a break from the day-to-day life here and it's a very different day-to-day life. But like sometimes I'm in these like, I'll be in a small town or I'll spend, a week away. And by the end of the week, I'm like, I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to be back in the place where there's life and vibrancy and lots of different kinds of people and lots of different kinds of things to do. And I think that part of me that box hasn't been checked off. And so I wonder, like how long were you in Denver?
6 months on and off.
6 months.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that could have been a place you stayed for a while?
I felt like it could have been my home base.
Yeah.
There was a lot about it that I really loved.
Denver is awesome.
And there was a lot about it that I don't think I was really aware that it wasn't quite the right fit until I left as well. I think, I moved there and I like emailed all the universities and all the regional houses and I was like, hello, this is who I am. I've been on Broadway. Here's my resume. Thinking that like there might be something that popped up right away. And everyone was like, cool, want to get coffee? And I was like, right. I can't just walk in here and like I'm not demanding or just expecting that something would happen.
Right.
Met really awesome people, made great strides. It was only at the time that I was leaving that people finally started reaching out to me, which was just like what it happened to be. But, while I was there, I was flying in and out to do work. And that was such a foreign thing to our community there because no one's really transient anymore because everyone's working remote. So
right.
I was flying out to work a week of admin for NYU doing auditions for Tish, which is that could be a whole nother podcast. And then I got a world premiere play. I was going to be gone for 8 weeks. And I shared this over dinner one night with some people that we were friends with. And everyone was like, 8 weeks. Like, what is he going to do while you're gone? And valid question, such a valid question. But I feel like in New York, people are, 8 weeks is nothing. People are in and out all the time.
Well, and it would be oh my God, congrats.
100%.
That's amazing.
And not just performers, but there's people are doing business in Abu Dhabi and blah, 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 blah. But in Denver, it was very like people were hunkered down. People had their families. People stayed there. And it didn't help my now ex wrap his head around the idea of having a life with me because not only was I literally othered from this group, but everyone around him was like checking in to make sure that he wasn't going to like throw himself off a bridge because I was gone for 8 weeks.
Wow.
And it sucked.
Yeah.
And there was so much I loved about coming back to Denver, being like doing my thing away, coming back to my home, having all this space, going on a great hike, doing all these wonderful things. And Denver's great. Like Denver, you have the hikes, you have the downtown. I will say it's a lot of homogenous. It's a lot of
very much so.
Extremely white.
It's a lot of white people in Patagonia.
Yeah.
It's monoculture.
Right.
I would argue. Everyone kind of has the same hobby, the same taste in music, which listen, when you're there, fierce.
Great.
It's great. But I think it took stepping away for me to be like, right, I'm not crazy for being an artist who's transient, who maybe has a different tempo than some of these other people. It's okay.
I think that's a personality that lends itself to living in this city. I think this city very much attracts people who prefer independent lifestyles, transient lifestyles, in and out, gig economy. Like that's what I feel like this whole city is.
Well, it's balance. You get a little bit of taste of everything.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm, and selfishly, I wanted everything. Like I wanted to be able to be transient, but have this home, have this partner, have this life that was in Denver and with this person, and he wanted someone there every day, and that's like so valid. And
both of you have that
worlds
validity.
Are valid, but when it kind of came to the end for us, my invite to him was, can you imagine a world where we work out? What does that look like? Come with me on this tour for 9 months.
Yeah.
And we just were at an impasse. He couldn't see
He was like,
that moment.
I
He's like, I can't see it right now for myself. And that sucked. But that was like, two adults figuring out that we just needed to go on separate paths in in a just okay way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you guys together?
About 4.5 years. Yeah. 4 years. Yeah.
He's great.
He's great.
He's so great.
Shout out to my ex, Toby.
Hey, Toby.
Yeah.
He's great. And our dog is with him. And, if you remove the human drama, that dog is hiking and swimming and, in the snow in Denver.
So joyful.
And very happy.
Love that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what's the difference between boyfriend, dog, apartment in New York City and boyfriend, dog, and apartment in Denver? What was the difference to you? Was there any difference?
We were like healthier. We saved more money.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little bit more of a group routine together. But I will say, this is in Denver, I will say we were a little bit like, where are the gays? And I guess I was a little bit more like, are we going out tonight? Like, let's go out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then here it was a little bit like there's so much going on. When are we going to make priority to stay in?
Mm-hmm.
We need to rethink our budget. We should start cooking. Like, can we have a do nothing day? And also, I found we didn't even really have to like talk about it in Denver, but like we would have days where we would just go do our own thing. But here, you're in a smaller apartment. Sometimes it'd be like, I'm gonna go have my own day today.
Yeah.
And we would call them me days. I'm gonna go have a me day. So each has its own way. But I think like I didn't have enough time in Denver to make community. It is very, very humbling to move somewhere in your 30s as an outgoing person and suddenly be like, I don't have friends.
Yeah.
That's a wild concept. Like,
it is like,
because you're a very like, well, this is the second time we've hung out, and I feel like we're best. You know what I mean? Like, you have that personality. Because I think there's a lot of people that are moving to new places or would like to move to new places, and this is the thing that they're like, oh, I can't because I can't start over.
I mean, it's so humbling, and immediately you're like, oh, what do I do? Do I like get on Facebook and join like a hobby group? Like, what do I do? What am
Well,
I
it's kind of
gonna
like
do?
dating. I mean, I
Right?
would
So
imagine
you,
it's like
reach
dating.
out
You
to
need
the-
friend dating.
You reach out to the few people you know, and we like got invited to this queer event, and we were like, let's go to this queer event. And then we got there, and like, we were a couple, so the gays saw us and were like, oh, they mission accomplished for the night. Like, those two are going home together. And neither, like, I'm just like not good at meeting new people. I wasn't going to be like, hey, cowboy, sup, I just moved here. Want to
Classic
be
Denver,
friends with
hello.
us? You know what I mean? But it did make me think about a couple business ideas. One, I should have worn like a sticker or a pin that night that said, I'm new in town, talk to me, or like looking for new friends.
That's a great idea, Max.
And then I also thought of a bar concept where like at this bar, you could have a cup that would indicate like your level of like wanting to socialize with someone. And if you were like new in town, if you're like, hey, new in town special, if you want to let everyone know you're new in town, you get this mug. And people could approach you and be like, hey, where'd you move from? Or whatever. And I was like, there needs to be some kind of icebreaker along those lines. So like, so we went to that. He had a bunch of friends there, mostly straight people. We got on an app. We got on Field.
Oh, I've been on
Yeah.
Field.
Yeah.
And at that point we weren't open, but we just wrote, we are looking for friends. And we got invited to the Boulder Gay Cocktail Club, shout out, every Thursdays in Boulder.
Oh my
I
God.
love
And
Boulder.
we went and we were just kind of like, we knew that there would be one person there, and we were just kind of like with our little drinks feeling vulnerable. And then that person showed up. We met him, and they turned out to be ex-New Yorkers.
Ooh, there
So
you
we
go.
met
That's why.
two ex-New Yorker couples I'm still in touch with a little bit. They're great.
Great.
And they lived in Boulder, which was like a whole different vibe from Denver.
Mhm.
But yeah, we got on an app, and that's like, it's fine. I'm just like, how do people make friends? I guess, if I were to move to Kingston or whatever, there's like 3 bars, and
Where's Kingston?
Kingston's upstate.
Upstate.
There's like
Beautiful.
3 bars, and there's probably events going on, and you get on the Instagram of the local dive bar, and you're like, all right, I'll go to this thing, and you get on Grindr, and you meet someone, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm new in town, and maybe you make out with them, and they become your friend, and then maybe you do end up in the polycule.
Great.
But like, I can think of ways to make friends, but it is like a humbling, daunting idea to move somewhere in your 30s.
Moving somewhere new. It's something I've been thinking so much about lately, is just as a newly, again, single person, and then talking to single people who are like, where do you meet people? Like, where do you meet romantic relationship people? Where do you meet friend relationship people? we've kind of forgotten, like not even forgotten, but it's just not how we interact with each other anymore.
Right,
Like I was watching this one thing where even just like the fact that we all have our earbuds in all day, all the time. And so you're cutting down all of the like, remember those little moments of like walking and like making eye contact with like the mailman and saying hello to the mailman, or like just eye contact and hellos and smiles and those like micro interactions we've all lost. So we're just like severing ties with each other that way. And then I'm seeing so much of this online too, of like, especially like younger like Gen Z people being like go to like this AI app and like this is for therapy and this AI app for relationship advice. And I'm like, no, go to your friends, But like that even like millennials, as we were talking about, like it's hard to make friends without getting on the apps. It's like, I'm so concerned, but still so hopeful that we still know how to interact with each other. And I'm starting to lean more into like, how do I want to start approaching strangers again. I want to start making friends with people like randomly. Like that woman I brought to your birthday party that I just sat next to at a bar like a couple weeks prior. I was like, hey, hi. We just struck up conversation. Then I just brought her to like a couple things, and I was just like, oh, this is how you make friends. I forgot. But I feel like that in New York is so much easier.
It is.
It is so much easier.
It's so much easier in New York.
Yeah.
Well, because there's so many different pockets. But I was talking about this with my brother the other day, is that we're so fortunate that within entertainment, we have built-in communities.
I know,
Because you go away on a contract for 2 weeks and suddenly you're best friends and you have a whole new group of friends. Same thing with you at the Cellar. You just get to interact with everybody, and then every night you have a new friend that comes in.
Right.
We're fortunate to have that, and most people don't have access to that.
But they're all actors. This has been my problem coming back, is I'm like, my group is so homogenous here. And that's what I'm struggling with being back, is I'm like, I want to make new friends here.
Do you know what I do? Because my friend group is like, oh, you weirdly make so many weird random friends.
We need to go out.
We should go out.
I would really like that, actually.
I have made two plane friends this year.
Wait, one that took you on a boat.
Went on a boat.
And I was like, Alex, you could have been murdered.
Absolutely could have been murdered. Worth it. I got on this plane. This guy was sitting in the middle seat, and I just sat down and we just started talking.
You're like, what do you know about boats?
No, and then like an hour in, he was like, "What are you doing today?" And I had a show that night. I was like, "I got a show." He was like, well, "I got a boat. You want to? My wife and all our friends do you want to come on the boat?" I was like, "Yeah." And then they all came to my show the next night, and then like we're all connected, and so
amazing.
They're coming to New York next week actually, and I'm just not going to be here. But like, it sounds so like woo-woo, but it's just like, what is the energy that you're radiating? Like, what is the like, are you going in being like open and like making eye contact with people and just like going out alone? The woman that I brought to your birthday party, it was because I was at a bar. I had a big chunk of time between shows, and I went to Zinc Bar and was just sitting at the bar alone with a martini and my journal. And like, she sat down next to me, and I was just like, what are you drinking? Like, it's literally as simple as that. And then you read body language, and if people aren't like, if they're like, turn away, whatever. But like, most people, if they're showing up alone somewhere, are also like, yeah, I'll talk to you.
And regarding home, for me, my community and my friends have always been a huge part of what home means to me. So even though I have moments where I'm like, fuck New York, I want to get out of New York, I want to move to Montana, I want to get out or move to Paris or try something new, I do think about, oh man, but I'd be leaving behind such a rich community because you people, present company included, are my home. It's my chosen family. So I think that's another layer of it.
Bring them all with you.
I know.
We just need to buy
Let's
a
all move to
compound
Paris.
and all move somewhere together.
Do it.
We'll all have a chapter together.
I love it.
I'm super down for that.
I'm
I
curious.
do though. Sorry, I just want to go back because I do feel like, I think you and I did some time abroad. I have felt the loneliness of being like, when you move to a new place and the newness of it starts to wear off and you're alone there, or you only have a couple friends. It's like, what are you giving up when you, like, I have lived in a few places where I'm like, I thought it would be this like life-changing, like, and I'm going to make so many new friends and have this beautiful life here. And then like, 6 months in, I'm like, ugh, I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go somewhere where I know I'm going to be able to put roots down. And like when I was living in Spain, I was like, I'm ready to get back there.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if maybe what you're trying to get at is like, when do you know instinctually that it's home, and when do your instincts tell you that maybe it's time to move on?
That's a good question. I think it's when you leave and come back. I think it's when you're somewhere long enough that you go, I don't know, back to like my home in Cleveland or whatever. I go see my family. It's when you arrive back at the airport. It's when you're flying back in. Wherever you're staying, you put the keys to the door and you set your bag down. And you're like, I feel home. Or when you like say it, when you name it as home. I think you have to spend a little time there, leave and come back in order to be able to know if it's home or not. And if you come back and you're like, maybe it's not, you know?
I used to have such a very strong reaction to coming back to New York City when I was in college. I would go back home to Massachusetts and be like, fuck this, I don't want to be here at all. And I would count down the days until I'd come back to New York. I'd see the New York City skyline from the Greyhound, and I'd be like, I would just relax into my seat and be like, I'm home. And I felt that way from day one. I felt that way. Don't feel that way all the time now. It's shifting because we're getting older.
Well, and getting into now that you're here long enough, you're just like, God, the Ubers are $70. And you're like, I'm gonna take the bus to the F to the Q. You know, so that it's like not as glamorous.
Oh, look at that skyline that's gonna take goddamn 2 hours to get home.
Unless you're on the company money where you're like, I'm calling an Uber.
Black car.
And then it's fine.
Fine.
But when it's on your own dime, it's a mess.
But I think all of us dreamed about what it would be like to live in New York City when we were teenagers. Dreamed and dreamed. And if you ever took a field trip, it was like fucking magic to be like, New York City. So I'm curious, what does New York City feel like now compared to high school Max, who is dreaming and dreamed of a life in New York City, and probably at that time thought you would be a lifer in New York City?
I mean, I think it's so special. I think like if I were to go back in time and tell my younger self what my New York was now, he'd be so, I live by myself. I have a stabilized studio in Brooklyn. I have like some amazing friends. Some of my friends from high school are here. Like 8 of my high school girlfriends are all here. I see them. I have like beautiful pockets of queer friends. I go see shows for free. I get invited to dress rehearsals. I know directors that I admired then. Like, I've worked with I text with some of the most famous composers randomly, you know what I mean? Like, people, my life is huge. My life is so much bigger than I could ever have imagined. And I'm skinnier now than I was. I'm a former fat kid. So that would be a fierce thing to let little Max know. This feels like the end of that Drag Race episode where they're like, what would you tell little Max if he knew that you were a drag queen?
No, but it's so important. I do that all the time. I'm like, write down everything you did this week and then send it to yourself 10 years ago.
I mean,
and let her just sort of sit in that.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it. So like every time you're like, I'm not here, I didn't do, it's like, enjoy the ride. Like, enjoy the ride.
Yeah. It's special. I mean, it's like.
It is. It's so special.
Yeah.
How do you feel as that adult now, though? Like, is there any part of you that's like, I mean, in the midst of the conversation, I guess, of outgrowing New York, are you a little bit like, okay, like it's normalized now, that fantasy of a life that was incredible that you saw to fruition and made come true is incredible. But it's always that once you get the thing that you wanted and then it's a little bit not so shiny anymore, the novelty wears off. Like, how are you feeling about home, I guess, the word of home in New York City right now?
I'm feeling like it's either going to go into like hyperdrive for me career-wise, that it's going to be like so all-consuming that I'm like, that my home just feels like a busy place, or I'm really going to have to reinvent the wheel and like find a better way to make it feel like hyperdrive here for myself, whatever that means, like investing in more creative projects, in investing in myself, in self-care, exploring some things that maybe I hadn't let myself explore before. Because I became so hyper-focused on getting to the place where I'm at.
Yeah.
So like maybe now that I'm here, which doesn't mean this is like the end all be all, but I do think where I'm at professionally is like a level up from where I was once before. I'm like, maybe I can be at peace with like some of the hustle that I had to do before and like write or make my own stuff or feel okay not being in a show right now, you know, which I do. I love not being in a show right now. It is so nice.
It is nice.
So nice. But yeah, I think like I feel like I have like a year in me here. You can do anything for a year. I signed a year on my lease, you know? And at that point, it's like a reevaluation of where I'm at. I think I need to hold on to this stabilized studio.
I think you do too.
In Brooklyn, but that doesn't mean I can't house swap with someone
Exactly.
in LA,
Right.
upstate, London. That doesn't mean I can't sublet it to a friend and go take a chapter somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that I can make myself, this is bringing it all back, so I can make myself feel like when I land back in New York, it does feel like home again.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
I do want to ask, just because I like to ask a lot of people this question.
Go on.
This is so tacky, but I think about it all the time because I thought about it in high school and I still think about it today. I thought about it on my Broadway debut, and I just think about it all the time when I'm in New York. I'm such a homo, but the lyric about New York, from New York, from, you know, Liza's version, in my opinion. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. I remembered being a kid before moving to New York City, be like, I want to move to New York City and accomplish big things. And then I remember when I got my Broadway debut, I was like, I made it. And if I can do it in New York, I can do it anywhere. And then now, like, that I'm a little bit on like the end of 20 years and like a little bit of a jaded phase, I'm kind of like, oh God, what the fuck? Like, what else am I going to do anywhere else? Like, what does that lyric ever carry any weight or importance to you? Do you not think about it? I think about it all the time.
I don't think I wake up thinking about it.
What?
Maybe I will tone. You know,
It's your
tomorrow I
alarm
will.
on
I'll
your
be like,
phone.
I'll text you tomorrow when I wake up thinking
Are
about it.
you even gay?
No, I know I'm not. No, but I think like if we made it on Broadway, if we have survived over 10 years in New York City, we can literally do anything.
Yeah.
We can do anything. I could fake my way and be a CEO of a startup tomorrow because we fucking cut our teeth here in New York trying to get on Broadway. Like, LOL.
The place.
We did it. But that shit is hard. That's harder than
maintain.
running a company. Are you kidding me? It's so much more vulnerable. There's so much more at stake. It's us. It's our bodies. It's what we have to offer. It's our looks. It's our talent. And we did it. We did it.
Yes, honey.
We really did it. But like, if you could do that, I think you can do anything except for like maybe like space science stuff. Like, I don't think I could be an astronaut tomorrow.
I couldn't play sports.
I'd wear the costume.
Yeah, right.
I'd wear their little costumes.
I'd go to that cute little rehearsal in my football costume.
We could go to the rehearsals.
Yeah.
No, but give me a
rehearsals.
month. We could probably do okay.
I don't think so. Not for me, but you probably could. I'm not good at sports.
I'm horrible at sports. I didn't say good. I said okay.
Okay, fair.
Oh
my God, I would just be in love with all my teammates. Ugh.
Where is this going for
I don't
you?
even know.
Yeah,
I know.
like
I just went to a
this.
space.
Wow. I know what you're going to wake up thinking about tomorrow morning.
And it's not Liza. Oh my God. All right. Well, Max, this is such a lovely chat.
Thanks
pleasure.
for coming on.
I'm so excited to
having
come and
us.
see your rent stabilized apartment.
Please.
And the clock is ticking for your supposed maybe one last year in New York.
Yeah.
Your
I'm just
reevaluation
I think I'll
year.
probably say that. You guys would just make fun of me for a whole year.
I mean, I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I do it all the time too, being like, I'm done with this city.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, God, I love New
I
York.
love it.
Yeah, we'll do some shrooms in the woods and then
Oh
talk
my
about
gosh, I
it.
can't
Bring
wait. I
me.
cannot wait.
Great.
Beautiful. All right, Max, tell
Okay.
our followers where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me at the corner of. You can find me on the internet at Max Cherns is me.
Yay.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching.
We hope you all find home. And no, that was like a Delilah
I
exit.
hope you find a home.
I hope
We
you
hope you
find
all find a
home.
home.
That was
you
a
find
terrible
home.
exit. All right.
No, that was great. Stick the landing.
You know what? We
Say
love
it.
you all. We hope you find home.
New
and if you
York,
haven't been to New York
New
City,
York.
come visit New York. Come visit
Yeah,
New York.
you
It's
have
amazing.
to. You really
You
do.
guys okay?
I know. I'm just trying to find a
Spiraling
way to
after
wrap
the
it up.
first episode.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
All
Okay,
right.
love you. Bye.
Like, follow, subscribe. Love you. Bye.